A bit of a newcomer to RTV2, but we usually start here with Neil, VK3BCU, who is the usual anchor, but I decided I'd take a few of the nets just to get a bit of experience there. We've been running these nets for quite some time, but I've never done this. But anyway, it's not too much of a problem. Tonight we've got Mick, VK3CH, with some video for us. Mick's always very entertaining and certainly gets up to a lot of stuff. And we've got John, VK3ATV, over there in Williamstown, also with some video tonight. I did check on the All-Star net. At the moment I haven't got the RF part of it working, but I just went on the phone and come across VK3IE and VK3TRX and VK3TTV, so TTF rather, and VK3GE. So it seems a popular way of making contact. But there it is, All-Star net 65393, All-Star node I should say. 65393 seems to be getting popular. Anyway, I got an email from Rob Hensel today, or I think it was today, regarding VK3RGL, and we might talk about that when it comes back to me, but John also, ATV, would have got that, and he may have some comments about it as well. Anyway, we're going to take Mick first, VK3CH, and Mick, you can send it over to John, VK3ATV, and John, you can send it back to me at this stage. We've got Richard, VK3VRS, streaming tonight, and I think probably Rob, VK3IE as well. So there's plenty of output. I did go on the VK5 RDC callback last night, but the audio was a bit disastrous, and it's something to do with my PC, because I've tried OBS on this other PC that over here on my left, and I did notice that the audio was fine on that, and for some reason or other there's a background audio running. It's not audio, it's more like noise. So it's one of the strange things. But anyway, the PC number 2 seems to be working, and we'll give it a go again next week. They don't have their SRT running all the time. It's only running when they're on the net, I think, or when somebody activates it. Unlike RTV, they can SRT in any time, and they are certainly doing that on Monday nights. And there's quite an interesting program there that's been running. I think it may be at the end of it, with this gentleman who travels all around the outback. So yeah, interesting stuff. He sees what I don't see. He says, "Isn't it magnificent? Flat as a tack." With a few minor trees. But anyway, in one's mind's eye. Some of the things are good though in the outback. That is true. Okay, Mick, if you're ready to go, it'll be a little bit of a rough turnover, because yes, you're on T and I'm on F. I should have come up on T, because I know John is as well. But anyway, Mick, VK3CH, if you start your transmission now, at least your encoder will be all up running, and we'll just persist. One comment I would make before I do hand over there, I think that the 2 mega symbol per second test has had its run. It's pretty obvious that it's quite okay for this sort of thing, a static sort of picture, but as soon as somebody moves, well, it's pretty ordinary. So I think with 264 H264 encoding, it's just not on. So anyway, we'll get rid of that. A simple software change up there, and just stop polling the 3 channels and just go back to the T and the S channels. Okay, Mick, should be up and running now, so over to you. This is VK3BFG. Over to you, Mick.
Okay, that took a while. Just make sure I got audio. Yes, we do. Alright, g'day everyone. Mick, VK3CH, operating out of Doncaster, about 20 k's east of the city. G'day to everyone. We've been making, or finishing up making the alterations to the transmitter. We keep saying that famous last words. The main thing has been adding some fans to keep it quiet, and I tell you what, I've lost count of how many times I switch it on and I turn around to do something with VMix and I think, hang on a minute, is there a plug unplugged or something? Like, did I forget to not put it into the mains? Because I'm so used to, you know, you can hear a little bit of sound and there's just nothing, absolutely nothing. And you've actually got to sort of look down and check that it is actually spinning and up and running. But anyway, now I'm not making this up. The moment we were finished with everything, put the covers on underneath and put it up the right way and plugged everything back in, what happened? The main switch failed. Or well, it gets sticky and it either stays on, or you know, you've got to have a few wriggles of it to switch it off. And this is the 3rd time I've had one of those switches fail. Now they only cost about $2 something from JCar. So what I've done is I've got one of these, which is just a marine grade switch. So I'm hoping that's a little bit better. I do see that up on my other transmitter, which you can't see, the old SR Systems one, there is one of those there and it has held up. But I mean, you would only turn the transmitter on what? A few times in a week for testing? And these things are meant to what, have 10,000 cycles, so the specs say. So I don't know why it's failing so quickly. But anyway, I've got a short video of what we've been up to. So I'll cue that up and click that. And put the audio off the microphone here and you can check this out. This goes for about, oh, not that long. I forget, 4 minutes or so. Hang on. Nah, 2 minutes. Here we go. Here's the power supply on the bench, getting ready for surgery. Here's the current existing fan. We'll switch it on. So there's the fan running. Here it is with the covers back on. We'll switch it on. There, see if you can watch it spin up. That's definitely spinning. And that's 100 mil away. So we'll have to see how that sounds when it goes back on the floor. Power supply has been installed back to the floor. So there's 1 metre from the power supply, and if the microphone is staying right near the wall, that's 1.5 metres. Where are we? Yep, 1.5, just at the edge of the box. Now sometimes I'll swing the microphone round to roughly there, which is about 1.3, but the table is in the way of the power supply. So I think that'll be pretty good. Can you hear the power supply fan?
The
I can
noisy
tell.
fan inside the high-des HV320E was just simply ripped out in the end, and the fan in front of the unit on the big heatsink we'll just use to cool it.
Okay, okay, so we're back. So yes, what I meant by that was the fan with the in front of the larger heatsink that's cooling the Bird's amp underneath it. The hide has been installed right behind it and has been for a long time. And yeah, there's just this tiny little fan in the hide. It's probably some sort of cheap and nasty. At a little bit of a whine. I looked on the Hide's website. Apparently it's only a recent addition, but I figure cooling's been added for a reason. And like I say in my article, it's okay to make your fans spin slower and they sound quieter, but don't forget that they're cooling something probably expensive that wants the airflow for a reason. So yeah, just balance between the best of those two worlds. Alright, that's probably about all I've really got. Just trying to think. No, that's about it. So yeah, replacing the switch. I bought it yesterday, but I thought, I'll wait till after the net to give myself enough time to make sure in case there's any hassles, but there shouldn't be. Just tip it upside down and that's it. And oh yeah, and we finished doing our video for the ATV QSO party. So that's all done as well. So we're ready for that a little bit ahead of time. Yep, that's about all I've got now. I'm handing it over to John, VK3RTV in Williamstown. So, yep, I'll drop off and we'll catch us later. VK3CH.
Okay, good evening. John, VK3ATV. Just turn my audio down a little bit. Sorry about that. I had a problem with my receiver. Pressed the wrong button and powered it off. Okay, I've got a couple of things I've been working on this week. One of them is the little little wireless microphone. Hopefully I've been playing with the audio and I think that that's working reasonably well without overdriving. So I'd be interested in some comments as to whether that's working okay. Update on my All-Star. I've been playing with that and I couldn't get the display to work. So you actually need to have a bit of script in the Raspberry Pi to activate that screen. I can get the video out on the HDMI outlet, but I can't get that touchscreen to work. So I may have to put some standard operating software, system software into the Raspberry Pi to get that monitor, that display, touchscreen display to work, and then maybe put the All-Star software in after that. Again, interested in any comments. So I haven't progressed on my All-Star, unfortunately. The next thing I wanted to talk about was I'm currently using a analog camera. So it's not a digital camera. And I've just put one of these on the output of it. So they're readily available online. They're somewhere between $5 and $10, so they're not very expensive. And that's running straight into my ATEM Mini Pro. So the point of that is, if you've got a reasonably good analog camera, don't throw it out. Get yourself some upscalers or some converters, and you can just run it as a HDMI camera. In fact, it's probably cheaper than buying a digital camera if you've only got analog cameras. Okay, the next thing, I've been playing with some Anderson power poles. I'm trying to distribute all my DC across all the equipment with Anderson plugs. I'll just switch camera and I'll show you what I've got. Make sure I've still got audio. Yes, I have. Okay, so there are the two Anderson distribution things that I've finished building today. They come in a kit form, and they come from Waverley Amateur Radio Society. So you can buy those online. I purchased them and it took 2 days to deliver. So they're really, really quick. The good thing about these, I think EMDRC did have a kit of these some time ago, but I couldn't find it. So Waverley Amateur Radio Society is in New South Wales, in Sydney. It's about the same price. In fact, it's probably a little cheaper to buy these kits than it is to buy a similar assembled thing from the online shops. So I think it's great to be able to support the locals. So they're quite a good unit. They're six-way distribution with the Anderson plugs. They've got an LED here that shows positive or negative polarity. So if it's green, it's a correct polarity. If it comes up as red, you've plugged it in around the wrong way. So that's a good indicator. It's got a voltage meter there, or voltmeter, which can't really read on the camera. That's showing 13.7 volts at the moment. And they also have just a little fuse clip there, so that you can easily pull out and replace the fuses. And just to show you, I'll have to grab my pliers again. They also have a little LED that shows you if the fuse is blown. So on this one, I've taken the fuse out, and if you I'll just short these out, which simulates a load. It'll show you that the fuse is open circuit. The LED will come on. Hopefully, there it is. Sure, you can see that. So the LED comes on to show that the fuse is blown. So you'd easily be able to see that through the clear plastic LEDs the clear plastic fuses, sorry, that the LED is on, and that fuse is blown. So that should save a little bit of work. They come with fairly detailed instructions. There's an 11-page instruction manual that gives you a step-by-step guide on how to build it, and it's very simple to build. The 11 pages is probably a bit excessive, but they're certainly a lot easier to build than that. So yeah, they were available online, as I said, from Waverley Amateur Radio Society, and I'll be using those. You can put whatever value fuse you like in there, but these are 30 amp connectors, Anderson connectors, so you wouldn't want to put too much load on that. Okay, I think that was all I wanted to show tonight. I'll switch back to my camera. So that's normally the camera I use for on the tripod, but I put this other analog camera in front so that I can operate my vMix and ATM Mini Pro in front of me, which gives a little bit more. What I've got to do is get used to looking at this particular camera. So yeah, that's what's been happening this week at VK3RTV. I haven't done a lot of transmitting on ATV. In fact, I've been watching the repeater, and not many people have come up during the week. So I'd like to see some more activity there. And please, if anybody sees my picture up on RTV, give me a call. I know a lot of people can't get me on 147.4, but hopefully when I have All Star, you'll be able to give me a call. I think the idea is that we can come up and initiate a QSO, hopefully a QSO via ATV, which we don't do very often these days. All right, that's it from me. Thanks everyone for watching again tonight. I'm not sure what the numbers of viewers are, but Peter might have a bit of an idea. So I'll put my thanks for watching on, then I'll drop off, and it'll be back to Net Controller.
We've got 13 on YouTube and 3 on Discord.
Okay, I'm not sure whether everybody heard that, but Peter will relay how many people are watching. So sounds like we've got about 16 viewers, so that's great. All right, I'll hand it back to Peter, VK3BFG, back to Net Control. 73.
Okay, looks as though I'm back there. Thanks for that, John. Those Anderson power pole kits look like something that I might have a look at again. I do have the very old-fashioned polarised plugs, which are very, very big, really, but they do the same job. But the Anderson power poles are much more efficient, and the fact that it's all fused there and that, and with all loads of stuff, it looks pretty good. So yeah, the Waverley Amateur Radio Society. We'll get on their website and have a look at that. At the moment, Richard, VK3VRS, has reported we've got 13 watchers on YouTube and 3 on Discord. So g'day to everyone. I do have a little demo which I was trying to do last week, but I mucked it up. But this week we should be good, and I will come back after a little demo, and we'll talk about what Rob has been doing over there in Geelong. So just stand by for this one. This is actually my new camera, and so this one's rather special, as you will see. Unfortunately, there's no audio on it though. But not to worry. Let's have a look at it. Okay, we're back. It's a little camera. It's a little camera that Dennis, VK3YLH, gave me, and it's used for poking around and investigating things. Dennis has his mounted on a sort of a stick, and you can poke it into all sorts of different spots. You can see how big it is, and yeah, there it is. It's analog, and like John, I had a analog to HDMI converter there running on it, and yeah, got a neat little device. I might do like Dennis has done, and mount that on a little stick so you can poke around. Particularly, you know, back down here, over there, I'm looking for stuff, and you know, you drop stuff, and it rolls under the bench, way under the bench. So you've got to pull a whole lot of stuff out and and do it. So yeah, thanks to Dennis for that. I mentioned that earlier that I had an email from Rob Hetzel, and it's fairly comprehensive. I won't read it out, but I've just highlighted a couple of things. First of all, he's currently streaming RGL 1 and 2, so he's got 2 channels running on the BATC streamer, so you can have a look at that. Rob's saying here, I've spent hundreds of hours, I'm sure he has, coding the core and the web back end. This is a fantastic piece of work, and when it comes to fruition, the whole thing is software. The AV mixer, the media sources, carousel, test charts, DTMF, and all of that. The stuff that I do with hardware, Rob's done with software. And of course, there's a hardware interface, but he's got a multiplex there for RGL1 and RGL2. That's software, done in software. So I guess ours is too, in one sense, in as much as that there's a module that we have, a PCB with a bit of interface around the thing. It actually runs a direct it takes 2 transport streams. So in one sense, it is software as soon as it gets into the board there, but not the same as what Rob's got there. There's no cables with transport streams running around the place. Yeah, it's going to be really good. He currently says I've got 4 DVB-T inputs and 4 DVB-S inputs. So yeah, it's going to be good. And he's saying, yeah, I write my own real-time multiplexer plug-in. So yeah, it looks as though he's not too far from fruition, so it'll be something to look forward to, and I'm sure the guys in the western suburbs will be happy about that. I reckon most of the guys there will just have to run a milliwatt or two over to RGL. So that'll be good, by the way. Certainly do that. You know, if you run 50 milliwatts or so, I would think from Rob 3IE's place, or probably Neil's as well, 3BCU. 3TRX is another one who would be able to access that pretty well. So that would be good. And it'd be good to see another ATV, a repeater there. Rob and I have agreed that we're going to link RTL and RTV, which is good. So if RTV is vacant or not working, and somebody's on RTL, will come through, and vice versa. And just observing this week, I agree, John. It's been pretty quiet, but that sort of thing happens from time to time. Coming up, of course, in August, and you can put this one in your diaries for sure. It's the last Saturday in August. Will be the DATV QSO party, and I have tried to make contact to the Dayton guys. Now they have a really substantial club there. I've seen some pictures of workshops and transmitting areas and an ATV repeater as well. So I'm hopeful that maybe we might be able to get some action there. It's going to be a hard act, of course, to replace Roland VK3, VK6 KCG. Can't quite remember his call sign, but I'm sure you all know who I'm talking about. He was indeed a character from Los Angeles and brought all of the West Coast together, and some of the East Coast as well, for that matter. So he was a big loss, that's for sure. Really nice guy as well. I got to know him very well. Anyway, that's a part of life. I think that's about it from me. So we can expect that the repeater will be back to its old response in terms of time when I just load the software to stop it polling onto the third channel. I think if we're looking at some narrowband stuff, it needs to be H.265 and etc. So we don't have that capability at the moment. Anyway, that's about it, I think, for tonight. What are we doing? Oh, well, we've done 35 minutes. I will close with the video, and whether people want to watch it through is up to yourselves, but I thought we might just fill a little bit of time in. Of course, it's a TV related video. Alright, I'm going to have to go across to my switcher here, so I'll be signing off for the net, and thanks for watching, and thanks for people that participated, and looking forward to maybe one more, and then Neil, you better take over, because I'll be running out of steam. So good night everyone, and watch the video if you like. This is VK3BFG in Wantirna South.
Co-founder of NYC Resistor Hacker Group. I'm also a ham radio operator, call sign KC2UHB. I'm at the Dayton Hamvention right now and would like to share a little bit of my hobby with you.
Something that we're doing with Stanford University.
Okay.
The Dayton Hamvention in Dayton, Ohio is an annual event that's a maker's heaven for amateur radio operators, or hams as we're called.
You come up here and look at the meter, and they don't sound the same. Why?
There are 3